Yes, folks. Michael Cheika, Australia's rugby coach, really went on a rant yesterday after their shock loss to Wales at the Rugby World Cup. Now, I haven't been following the Rugby World Cup this time around as I lost interest after the Israel Folau debacle, but I agree with Cheika that the rules and refereeing seem to be ridiculous. But that's what happens when you allow political correctness and safety rules upon safety rules to enter a game. But why is Cheika blaming the rules when he, Raylene Castle and Alan Joyce have done far more damage to Australia's chances of winning the Rugby World Cup than any rules would do? Have a look.
Now it's time for your Fox Sports update with Matt Sulo. And Matt, the Wallabies lost to Wales. Feeling the hurt this morning?
Yeah, everyone around the country is, I think, Annalise. It was a 4-point loss at the World Cup, full of controversy and frustration as well, with multiple reviews slowing the game down and attracting boos from the crowd. Wallabies coach Michael Cheika did his best to contain his anger before attacking the officiating of the tournament so far.
As a former player, I'm embarrassed about that.
Yes, and as a former rugby fan, I'm embarrassed that you, Castle and Joyce, sacked Israel Folau for merely quoting the Bible.
Michael Cheika wasn't holding back after a game that left fans booing and players trying to interpret confusing refereeing decisions.
I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know the rules anymore. Honestly, don't know the rules anymore. I know the administrators are spooking the referees. Referees are worried about making the wrong decision.
With 5 minutes remaining in the first half, the TMO intervened to check Wallabies inside centre Samu Karevi, leading with the forearm into Welsh reserve Reece Patchell.
Funny thing is, it's almost a high tackle from Reece Patchell, so take your pick.
It was pretty funny because I thought I'd seen that tackle before. It could have been Reece Hodge. I'm not sure. But when our guy makes that tackle and has the high tackle framework in his head, he gets suspended. And when this guy doesn't think about the high tackle framework, we get penalised.
The review process took more than 2 minutes, with another 2 wasted by the explanation and subsequent confusion from Michael Hooper.
Yeah, that's just that is terrible tackle technique, and he's just done a very good carry, so we can't carry if that's going to be the ruling.
The penalty proved costly, Wales kicking the 3 points.
The first half had possession, and now it's been intercepted!
Before adding a controversial intercept try.
I just don't know why they didn't go back and check that intercept try off Wilgenia. Just give us proof that he was onside, and then you go, good play, mate, really well read. But we don't know because they didn't go back and check. But they had the nerve to go back and check 3 other incidents throughout the game that took 3 or 4 minutes on each.
That had no bearing on the game.
Essentially, they scored 10 points in the space of 2 minutes from one massive call, which Hooper, you could say, argued it pretty well. Hooper came out and said, well, actually, so we're getting punished for a guy who goes in chest upright and bad technique.
Hooper himself was subject of a TMO review.
We have a late tackle after the ball has been passed, but there is a gold arm in it.
Another 90 seconds taken up by the review and explanation.
Just a penalty kick against you. Just be careful with that.
There was another incident involving Welsh winger Josh Adams, with a tackle that was very similar to the one that saw Reece Hodge banned for 3 weeks.
Poor technique from the Welsh winger.
There's no height level of danger.
Oh, no.
Okay. But it's a full play and it's a high tackle. Then we go for penalty kick against you. Please tackle lower than like the Australian. Okay.
The debate over officiating not going away, with the pointy end of the tournament getting closer by the day.
Yes, from that it is clearly confusing what the actual rules are. No one seems to actually understand what they are at all. Yeah, but now it appears that Israel Folau may walk away from rugby completely. Have a look.
Exiled rugby union player Israel Folau could make a shock return to rugby league, playing for Tonga in the Oceania Cup. Christy Kulcher is at Rugby League Central in Sydney for us this morning. Christy, good morning. This plan of Folau's could be short-lived, though.
Well, the 30-year-old who's in an ongoing legal battle with Rugby Australia claims that he's been given approval by the Rugby League International Federation play for Tonga against Australia in the end-of-season test. In a statement released last night, he says, "I don't want to bring any of my personal matters into this, and I'm grateful that the RLIF have endorsed my availability. What I will do now is focus on playing great rugby league and do my talking on the field." But those claims have been shut down by Rugby League International Federation board member and Rugby League Australia chairman Peter Beattie. He's said the RLIF has made no decision in relation to any registration request for Israel Folau. "I can assure you that this has never been discussed or mentioned around the board table." Tonga's head coach has expressed his joy at potentially having Israel and his brother John playing for the country, but has admitted he didn't know anything about the plan until it was reported by the media last night. Now, the sports star could have this week been representing Australia at the Rugby World Cup.
Yes, he could have been. Any regrets, Cheika? Any regrets, Castle? Any regrets, Joyce? Nah, forget about the last two. They don't give a damn about rugby.
Could have also been playing in an AFL Grand Final with GWS or even an NRL semi-final with the Melbourne Storm, but he was blacklisted by the NRL after he was sacked by Rugby Australia over social media posts that were deemed homophobic. The ex-Wallaby is now in what he calls the fight for his life as he tries to have his $4 million contract reinstated. He's due back in court in December.
Now, as far as I can make out, besides Israel Folau, rugby itself, rugby players and rugby supporters have all lost a lot as a result of Israel Folau's sacking. But that doesn't matter because they are all at the bottom of the intersectionality totem pole.